Welcome to Events TV Asia. Today we bring you a media preview of the 2012 Chingay procession of the People's Association, Singapore.
Invite Mr. Yang to give us a little opening address. Mr. Yang, if you please.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, a very warm morning to all our media friends, locally and overseas, to our students, to our sponsors. Thank you for turning out this morning for our first Chingay 2012 media conference. Now next year, Chingay is going to be very different from Chingay this year and the years before. Next year, we are celebrating Chingay 40th anniversary. And so, befitting of the 40th anniversary and the many years of Chingay, we would like to present a very different Chingay to our audience, residents next year. Now, as we know, this year's Chingay, there were many participants, more than 8,000 participants, volunteers were involved in Chingay. And we reached out to more than 6,000 youth from 35 years and below, and almost 32% of the 8,000 are professionals, managers, executives, who also volunteer to participate in Chingay this year. Beyond the 8,000 volunteer performers, we had 2,000 other project volunteers who were involved to help us in Chingay 2011. Now, the big difference in Chingay next year and the spectacular changes that we will put in for Chingay, I leave it to Mr. Na and the other panelists to explain to you in more detail as part of this media conference. Now, Chingay 2011 would not have been possible if not for all the support given to us by our sponsors and by our media friends as well. I'd like to show you some of the pictures, media pictures, from your perspective, reaching out to residents regarding Chingay as a high point engagement event in the area of art and culture, showcasing our very rich multicultural society that we're in, and the many participations of residents and the significance of values being transmitted from one generation to another, as depicted in the media coverage this year. Thank you also for showcasing that it is a people's parade, because we want to involve as many volunteers, residents in Chingay as possible, as well as showcasing Chingay to the different constituencies after the first 2 days of Chingay at the F1 pit areas. And this slide shows the Chuanten People's Parade that was depicted early this year. Now, beyond our local medias, there were also coverage by many of the overseas media. In total, 11 medias, TV stations around the world, from China, from Taiwan, from Indonesia, from Japan, from other countries, were all in Singapore, complementing the coverage of Chingay around the world. So I want to really thank our local medias, our CNA, as well as all the other medias, as well as the international TV stations and media for your extensive coverage of Chingay, so that we can reach out and share the richness of our society in Singapore around the world. position Singapore in the world map in the area of art and culture, a people's parade organized by people, participated by volunteer performers, and reaching out to all different people in the community. A survey that was done for Chingay 2011 also showed that Chingay had very good, popular international event in Singapore, and it reaches out to many of our viewers, Singaporeans who are overseas, as well as viewers who have to give them a glimpse of what is it like as we celebrate Spring Festival in Singapore each year. Now moving forward, we'd like to continue to develop the theme of the People's Parade so that it is co-created with many volunteer performers involving all our constituencies. In this way, everyone has an opportunity to perform in Chingay, further showcasing our rich diversity, cultural diversity in Singapore. At the same time, appreciation of our ethnic cultures, the compassion in the community, and encouraging friendship and mutual support amongst all our residents. Now this year's Chingay, we also want to involve residents of different ages participating in Chingay, watching Chingay, residents of different races participating and watching Chingay, as well as reaching out to residents across different estates, housing estates, private estates, different type of estates, so that overall we increase our outreach and be inclusive, inviting more participants across all these ages, race and estate to have an opportunity to also enjoy by participating in Chingay, either as a volunteer performer or in the audience. I want to thank our STV colleague as well, because STV helps us tremendously in also showcasing Chingay in all its different outlets overseas. And this way, we want to reach out to Singaporeans based overseas, as well as a lot more of the international audience to have an idea and appreciation of Chingay in Singapore. Last year, I met on the first night a group of tourists who come from Australia, and they told us, in fact they told the Prime Minister last year, that we came to Singapore over the weekend specifically for Chingay. And that was on the first night of Chingay. On the second night, I met another group of tourists. This is from East Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. And they said to ESM Go, that we came to Singapore over the weekend specifically for Chingay. So this way, we, through the process of Chingay and the rich cultural diversity displayed through art and culture in the People's Parade, we hope to engage more residents locally, as well as sharing with Singaporeans overseas through all the international coverage and exposure. So I'm very excited about Chingay 2012, and so I leave Mr. Na and all the other panelists to share with you in more details what is it to come for Chingay 2012. Thank you. Mr. Na, please.